Welcome, everyone. Episode number 55 of Talkin Kentucky. My name is Coleman Scott, and this is week 2 of Caden Holmes' vacation. So I'm joined tonight by Brad Harvey of College Sportscast, who I've been on his show a few times. He's been on our show a few times. He's a good friend of mine, and I'm happy to have him on tonight. And if you haven't checked out his stuff, his articles that he writes and his podcast and all that good stuff, you need to check him out too. And so I'm always happy to have him on. Brad, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Coleman. I appreciate the invite, man.
Of course, always, anytime.
Yeah.
I was talking last week. We had on Michael Spencer Sr. I was talking about how Caden picked a good time to be off of the show with all of this Kentucky basketball scuttlebutt going on that everybody's getting all riled up about. And you said that we were being a little too rosy on our show.
Well, so Michael's kind of known to be a little rosy with his loyal BBN fan thing that he does. He does great. Don't get me wrong. I love him. I love watching him and everything. But he tends to see the glass half full instead of half empty most of the time, if you get what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But, there's nothing wrong with being loyal. We all need to be loyal.
No. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I like his show, and I like what he does. So there's nothing wrong with it.
No, absolutely.
But I did make a joke last week with you guys that it was going to be a little too rosy probably or something like that is what I said.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's okay. Maybe we won't be as rosy tonight. But you know what? There is something wrong probably with me wearing an LSU shirt the week of us playing an LSU in the Super Regional.
I've got on True Victory, and it is blue and Kentucky colors, by the way. I did that on purpose.
There we go.
True Victory is something that is sponsoring us at College Sportscast. So
okay.
I've got a show on after this, so I'm wearing the True Victory tonight. You can log on and go to truevictory.com shop and use the Fanboys for a 15% discount code, by the way.
Well, there we go. Yeah, and hey, we're going to kind of keep this a shorter Talking Kentucky episode tonight because Brad has his show, College Sportscast, right after this. So right after we're done here, hop on over and watch Brad's show after this. And Caden Holmes, who is, again, not on the screen but in the comments tonight, says, so is our government hiding aliens or not? Caden, I don't even know what that means because we've got too much Kentucky basketball.
Oh, my gosh. Matt Jones is riling everybody up.
Yeah, he is. Well, Matt Jones did talk about the alien thing the other day, I think, but I don't even think we're going to have time to get into that tonight.
Matt Jones, he's been on one today.
Oh, he was. I haven't even had time to listen to all of it, but
I haven't had time to listen, but I did read a couple of things real quick. But he's been on one today.
Josh Hart's is bad, Coleman, for wearing LSU. Yeah, I was on UK's campus today, even wearing this shirt, so I realized that was probably a bad decision with all the LSU, Super Regional stuff happening this week. It's National Best Friends Day today, and it's World Oceans Day today, and it's National Karen Day today as well. We're about to sound like Karens with how we're about to talk about Kentucky
National Karens Day?
It's National Karen's Day today. Yeah. I don't know if it's intended to be Karen in the sense of like the derogatory Karen.
Right.
I think it's just Karen, like the actual name.
Like caring about somebody?
Not caring, but Karen. Like literally Karen. It's National Karen Day, like the name.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's meant to be derogatory. I think it's meant to be the actual name Karen, but you can interpret it however you want. That's for sure. And Clyde says Matt Jones is a Karen. So, and Caden says Talking Aliens, already going to name it. I don't even know if we're going to have time to talk about aliens tonight. The news that's going on tonight. But, well, let's start with some good news before we get into the bad. The Kentucky baseball team,
so we're talking about baseball, yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about baseball. We're a baseball school.
We must be a baseball school.
That's absolutely well. Before we get into the baseball stuff, Clyde Hare says amazing articles talking about your articles, Brad. So Clyde's giving you a shout out there.
Thank you, Clyde. I appreciate it. Just kind of getting into it the last 6-8 months, and I am part of Stadium Rant now. You can check me out. I've been writing Kentucky articles and college SEC articles as well. So,
well, there we go. Awesome. No, it's awesome. You've been sending them my way too, and I've been checking them out too. And there's some of the stuff I didn't even know before you sent it to me, like the whole 2024 SEC football schedule and everything like that.
yeah.
I that was breaking news to me. So,
good.
That's awesome. But
it wasn't I wasn't the first one to put it out there, but
right.
I did jump on it almost immediately and got it out within like an hour and 15 minutes after it come out.
And that counts for something. I mean, that's awesome. But yeah, the Batcats Super Regional, they beat Ball State. They lose to Indiana, go in the losers bracket, and then they come back, shut out West Virginia actually 10-0, and then they beat Indiana twice, 16-6 the first night, total shutout. Kentucky was having a good day that day, and then 4-2 beats Indiana to go to the Super Regional. And Brad, I really think that Kentucky athletics needed a night like that for all of us to kind of huddle around and get excited.
Yeah, Coleman, you may have been there. I was watching it on TV, and I watched I watched basically the last 3 days, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and the atmosphere there was Big Blue Nation was great. I mean, it was it was really good to see Kentucky fans getting to celebrate, getting to celebrate something for a change. I guess we've had a couple of football times, maybe not last year, but year before last we did. But it's been a little while since Kentucky fans had something to celebrate.
It has, and that atmosphere was great. I know they set the attendance record on Saturday night. It was almost 7,000, and I think they did break 7,000 on Monday night.
And then they reset the record on Monday night.
Yeah,
Monday afternoon. It was Monday night.
Yeah, Monday night. So that was a great. You're right. That was a great atmosphere, and that's a really nice ballpark. Actually, I didn't go to the game. I wasn't. I was actually in town and passed by the stadium on Sunday. For the West Virginia game, but I didn't go to any of the games. But nevertheless, you could even tell sitting there on TV that it was a great atmosphere. So
it was great. I mean, fans were all into it. They were having fun. You could see the fans having fun. It was just a great atmosphere all around. It was good to see. I enjoyed seeing that. But beyond that, Coach really has them playing some ball. I mean, they play small ball really well. They manufacture runs. They had 22 hit by pitches in the region the other day. Okay, that's not including walks. 22.
Yeah. No, I did not know that. And what about the turnaround? Mangione has a rough year last year. He's looking at losing his job this year. Turns around and makes the Super Regionals for only the second time.
Let me say this, because there has been a little talk about Mangione losing his job and stuff up until this season. He is the only Kentucky baseball coach to ever make the Super Regional round, and he's done it twice now.
That's a good point, because I was wondering actually the other day of 2017, the first time he made the Super Regional was Mangione. Was that his first year?
That was his first year as a coach.
Okay. I thought so. And then we played NC State to go to the Super Regional, I think, was that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was I mean, a heck of a coach. I mean, I'm happy for him, because I really like the guy.
He ought to have a little breathing room at least for a couple of years now, I would think.
I would think so. Yeah, maybe not a lifetime contract or anything.
No. I'm not talking about none of that stuff. No, but a little breathing room for at
Yeah.
least a couple of years.
Yeah, no, I think so. But the other big thing everybody's talking about from the Super Regional is all this Indiana stuff that happened.
Yeah,
Apparently both
it's
teams
so
don't like each
unfortunate. It's
other.
so unfortunate, really. I
It
mean, I
is.
don't really understand. And I mean, listen, I'm as competitive person as anybody. I just don't understand non-sportsmanship. I don't
I don't
like.
either.
I don't understand it.
I don't either. Well, so Matt Jones, as we were just talking about, he was at the game and he was the one that put out like Kentucky went over to the Indiana dugout to shake Indiana's hands. They didn't want to leave the dugout, didn't shake our hands. And that's one problem. But then there's this whole other story, and it's allegedly, I don't know. I don't want to get
Yeah.
sued or anything.
So
It's
after that, it came
not
out
confirmed.
about
Yeah.
you talking about the schedules.
Well, I'm not. No, I was talking about the cameras.
Go ahead. I'll let you. There's another story that I was going to bring up about
I
it.
didn't even know about the schedule. Do you know about the cameras?
What's
Well,
that?
apparently they put out cameras in the outfield during the first game of the regional tournament, trying to steal our signs, and that's I believe been like confirmed by multiple outlets. I don't know that it's true or not, but a
No,
lot
I
of
haven't heard that one.
yeah, that they would put cameras out to steal our signs, and that was before any of the unsportsmanlike stuff even happened. I don't even know about the schedule thing, so maybe
Okay,
they're
so
yeah.
I found this out afterwards. Okay, this was probably like Tuesday or maybe yesterday that I seen this story. So last year, not this season, but last season, Kentucky was supposed to go play in Bloomington for a weekend series. And supposedly Kentucky canceled on them. All right. Now, I don't know what the deal was. I'm not real sure. But I do know this. Jeff Mercer, who is Indiana's baseball coach, says that Kentucky told them this year that they will no longer come to Bloomington to play them. That if Indiana wants to continue the series, they're going to have to come to Kentucky every year. Now, this is all coming from Jeff Mercer, who is Indiana's coach. I don't know, okay? But so apparently there is some bad blood because Mercer says he's not doing that. And if Kentucky is going to, say that, then they're just going to cancel the series. So apparently there's a little bit of bad blood. And I don't really understand. Like, this is going on in football now between Kentucky and Indiana. It's going on in basketball, and now I'm seeing it in baseball. And when I was growing up,
Yep.
Kentucky, Indiana was one of the best rivalries that we had. And I kind of miss it. And it was great to see Kentucky and Indiana going at each other the way they did over the weekend. And, being at home and against the Hoosiers and everything else. It was great to see. And I kind of hope that doesn't happen. But from everything I'm hearing, they won't be playing each other unless it's in a regional tournament like this.
I did hear that the Indiana's coach didn't want to play Kentucky anymore during the regular season, at least. Yeah,
it has to do with Kentucky not wanting to go to Bloomington, according to Coach Jeff Mercer.
Well, that's like Cal doesn't want to go to Bloomington anymore because of the Indiana.
It happened in football. It happened in basketball with Cal in about 2011 or 12, and now it's happening in baseball apparently. And I don't really get that.
Wouldn't that be cool though if we renew that series in football at least? Like I think it would be cool to play Indiana, like to play a non-conference like power opponent that's not Louisville, because I don't really consider them, at least right now, power opponent.
I mean, I think Braum will get them going again, but
yeah, he will. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I do agree with you. I kind of miss. I mean, I know everybody likes the Louisville series now. It's been going on for 12, 15 years, whatever it is. But I really liked playing the Kentucky Indiana series. It's a series that we actually won most of the time. You know what I mean? Like we probably won 60, 65% of those games. We didn't win them all, but
No.
we won 60, 65% of those games probably. And, Louisville, the series has been kind of back and forth. We'll win 3, and then they'll win 4, then they'll win 4, and then we'll win 3, and then they'll win 2, then we win 7, then we win. You know what I mean? Like it's just been kind of back and forth.
Yeah. Nevertheless, I think that would be cool, even in basketball too, renewing some of these rivalries like the home and homes with North Carolina and Duke. And, I think that'll happen because in basketball, we're supposed to have this ACC SEC challenge that's supposed to start happening, I think. We might get a home and home with Duke, which would be really cool. I mean, can you imagine how tough that
would be pretty cool. Do a home and home. I mean,
with Duke,
it won't technically be a home and home. It'll be part of that thing, but it'll be at each other's place.
It'll be as close to home and home as we can get, as we can hope for in this day and age and everything.
Yeah, so absolutely.
I think it'd be really cool. That'd be a tough ticket to get in Cameron Indoor. That'd be an expensive ticket for sure. That'd be
as far as I know, Kentucky's never played at Cameron Indoor Stadium. That would it'd be kind of cool, actually.
I'd like to go to that game. I mean, that would be really neat. Well, speaking of basketball, there's some stuff to get to with that. Well, man, just when you think it can't get worse, I feel like there's stuff every week that just makes me feel more and more.
Okay, so I'm gonna try. I have an analogy, okay, that I'm gonna get to. I'm not gonna get to it right off the bat, but I have an analogy that I think is very fitting for what's actually going on with Kentucky basketball. But I'm going to start with this. So I'm going to start with the landscape of college basketball. The landscape of college basketball has completely changed over the last 4 or 5 years. So if you're not paying attention, because of the transfer portal, because of NIL, there are tons of experienced players coming back into college basketball. It is the landscape of college basketball is completely changed. 5 or 6 years ago, kids were coming into college basketball just to be here for a year or two, and they wanted to get out and move on to pro and play NBA or overseas, there were kids that jumped overseas everywhere, okay? Now, the landscape of college basketball is completely different. You go around the country, almost every single school is bringing players back and adding transfers. And I'm not talking you go around the country, even schools like Georgia and Ole Miss and Florida has loaded up with transfer portal kids, okay? Arizona State brought in 3 of the top, Arizona brought in 3 of the top 10 or 12 players.
Yeah, they got that kid that we wanted from Creighton too.
Yeah,
right?
From San Diego State.
Well, they got the San Diego State kid, but then I think that kid we were going after from Creighton too committed. Somebody that we were going after in addition to the San Diego State kid went there too. It was so
they got Bradley. They got Jalen Bradley from Alabama. There was a guard transfer. They also got Caleb Love, who was the number 1 player in the transfer portal.
They got
from North Carolina. That's
Yep.
what I'm saying. So, I mean, Arizona loaded up. Florida, if you go look at they loaded up. And I'm not talking about, so UConn just landed Cam Spencer, a shooting guard forward / guard forward, whatever, from Rutgers just yesterday. Okay. I mean, everybody, you go around the country, everybody is getting experienced players. And when I say experienced players, I'm not just talking about somebody who, rode the bench half the time or whatever. I mean, Purdue is bringing back Zach Edey, the player of the year. Yes, I know Kentucky brought back Sheboy last year. Okay. So, but what I'm about to say is this. And I wanted to start with that because there is a few things that's going on with Cal that I think. So, in my opinion, Cal he's digging into his own stance, his own beliefs. He's believing in himself. That's what he's doing. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, so let's think of this like a poker game. Okay, guys? Let's think of this. My analogy is going to use poker. Okay. So everybody's got their cards, and Cal's holding his, and he's saying, you know what, guys? I like my cards. I like them. And he's betting. He's putting something out there, okay? And then you got the fans, all right? And they got their cards, and they're worried as crap. And they're like, "Oh man, I need to throw 3 of these away, and get another hand, all right?" And that's what the fans are doing, okay? Then you have like college basketball who's changed, and their hand is like, you know what? I'm bringing this guy in, I'm bringing this guy in, and this guy's going to have experience and everything else, all right? And then you have Cal sitting there and is stoic, you know what I mean? He's just it's Cal, I mean, and he's like, "Nah, I'm good." He's looking at his hand.
It's like it's almost an arrogance thing.
He absolutely is. Cal is pushing. Listen, I'm going to tell you what's going on with Kentucky, Calipari, college basketball. Okay. It's like it's a 3-hand deal. And you got one that's betting, and Cal's betting. All right. Then the next one raises. Then the next one's raising. All right. And then Cal's coming around and he's saying, you know what? No, guys, I'm sticking with my freshmen. That's what he's saying. I'm sticking with my freshmen. I like my guys. They're young. They're talented. It's what I've always done. Cal's been known for 15 years now, 20 years now of going young and staying young, liking young, very athletic, talented guys. That's what he likes. Cal has found a 2023 class that is reminiscent of maybe like the 17 class or the 15 class or the 2012 class or the 2010 class. Okay? This class is special, guys. And Kentucky fans are going to find out just how talented they are, okay? Now, here's where it gets tricky. Because you have Cal saying, oh, I'm sticking with my philosophy, with my freshmen, with my whatever, and I'm sticking with him. I like my hand, and he's pushing back and saying, all in. That's what he's doing. Cal is all in, guys, with his guys. So much so that he is now after 3 more freshmen. Jordan Burks,
Yep.
This
The
Joey Hart guy,
Joey Hart. Yep.
and Sumpto something from Overtime Elite,
Yep. Thank you.
who is a 7-foot, huge, humongous, big guy that's kind of Baby Shackish. Okay. Now, Cal is so set in this that he's saying, nope, I can do this with all of these talented freshmen. That's what he's doing. And he's pushing all in. And I want to remind people, I'm not saying he's wrong whatsoever, okay? We're all going to find out together. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, we are. Well,
we're all going to find out together. Here's the deal. One of two things is going to happen. Either Cal is going to push his chips all in and ride it out, and next year he's going to find out that the Alabamas who get Grant Nelson and load up, the Arkansas who are loading up with players, the Arizonas are loading up with players, Kansas is loading up with players, UConn's got players back and getting players. And so if we find out that these freshmen are just a little too young and a little too inexperienced to carry us to a special season, then I think you're going to see a real firestorm next year. A real fire, because he's pushed all in. Now,
yeah,
Cal, if these freshmen and he gets Burks and he gets Hart and he gets Sumpto, and we have Ugana, who by the way reclassified and technically was supposed to be a freshman in this class. Mm-hmm. Just so y'all remember that. And Adu was a late bloomer. So that'll be our players right there. All right. So if these guys can come in and just be uber super talented and run away with 75 or 80% of these games, and then go 50-50 in the 25% tough games, and we go 23-7, then guess what? I think that you are going to see Cal. If that happens, I think you're going to see Cal with a whole lot more leverage than what he actually has right now. You're going to see Swaggy Cal. You're going to see Swaggy Cal come in and be like, I told you to trust me. That's exactly what you're going to see.
Yeah, that's very true. But, you talk about if it doesn't work with the Firestorm, I've heard a lot of people say that. Like, what do you think that's going to look like? Because he has this buyout to where we can't get him to leave, right? So, like, if we don't put up with it anymore and we revolt as a fan base or whatever, I mean, what's that even look like? I mean, he's gone on record saying that he wants to finish out his contract and he doesn't want to leave or anything. So, like, what do we even do? Like, if it doesn't work out and we don't make the tournament or, worst case scenario, like, what do you think is going to happen?
I'm going to be Kentucky basketball is bigger than Calipari. I'm sorry. It just is. It's bigger than Mitch Barnhart. It's bigger than Mitch Barnhart. It's bigger than Calipari. It just is. It always has been. It always will be. Here's my deal. Like I said, he's pushing his chips all in. What that means is that we're all going to find out together. We're all going to be on this ship and we're all going to be riding it. And after the years that we've had for the last 3 or 4, my belief is this. I believe that you will see a storm big enough to get his job next year if they do not get. Let me put it this way. They have to get out. They have to get past the first weekend in the NCAA tournament. There's no ands, ifs, or buts.
When's the last time we did that? Like 7 years ago,
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, there is no ands, ifs, or buts. They absolutely 1,000%, with him riding his players like he has and not going after and not picking up transfers, not doing the NIL, he is doing everything he can do to be like, nope, I'm good, guys. I got my guys. I'm riding this out. I'm trusting my instincts. I'm trusting what I've always done. And that's exactly what Cal's doing. And I'm telling you right now, if he does not get past the first round of the NCAA tournament next year, he won't be at Kentucky. Kentucky will get his job.
We'll find a you think we'll say. I've heard a lot of people say that. You think we're just going to find a way to get him out, like whether it's money or just like forcing him out or whatever. Yet, like you think that if we don't get past the first round of the tournament, that Kentucky will find some way. Yeah,
boosters will pay his $50 million or whatever. I'm telling you, Kentucky's bigger than Calipari. Listen, I love Calipari. I loved what he's done. And I'm not saying it's over. I'm totally giving Cal the chance to show me that he has the talent with these freshmen to make that move.
Yep.
He has a chance.
But that gets me into the stuff that's really concerning is all these people leaving. Like Lance Ware goes to not a smaller school, but he goes to Villanova, a place where he'll have equivalent, if not less, playing time at Villanova. We have.
I think Lance Ware play there. He'll play.
Well, yeah, he would have played even more with the roster we have right now. He would have played even more at Kentucky, though. He would have maybe started at Kentucky, right? Because we want Ugo to be the backup. So. But we have Chris Livingston going, to the draft. That's kind of premature, in my opinion. We begged Oster to come back, and now comes out today that Reeves is allegedly, again, it's not confirmed, but allegedly enrolled in classes at Illinois State so that he can graduate, so he can be a grad transfer and play immediately somewhere else next year. Right. That's really concerning. If you lose a guy like Antonio Reeves to the transfer portal, a guy that will probably be a starter.
It is, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Cal, he doesn't care about players coming back. He doesn't care who's leaving. He doesn't care. Like it's plain. He is making his stance, and that's fine. It's his team right now, and he can do that. But here's the deal. He's mighty lucky, and I don't even know exactly how he's pulling this off, to be honest with you. But he's pulled off one hell of a class for 2023, okay? And he's riding his guys. He believes that DJ Wagner and Justin Edwards and Reed Shepard and Aaron Bradshaw and Rob Dillingham to go with Ugana and Adu and maybe a couple of these guys, he believes that he will have super talent enough to win without without bringing back Reeves, without picking up, going after it. Listen, there's nobody that's more upset about not going after Grant Nelson from North Dakota State.
Yeah, what happened to that?
What happened to that? Yeah, I wrote an article about it. Check it out. Okay, there is nobody that's more upset. And I'll tell you what's even more upsetting about it is that most likely he's going to wind up at either Alabama or Arkansas.
NIL.
No, it's not even that. It's that now he's going to be in the SEC, and we don't even try and go after the guy who averages 18 points and 9.5 rebounds and is a rim protector and can move with the ball, step out, shoot threes. I mean, he's the number 3 overall transfer, Grant Nelson.
Yep.
You tell me how we can be so confident at Kentucky that we're just like, nah, we're good. We don't
get. Yeah,
we don't. We don't need that guy, man. We're good.
Oh,
matter of fact, we're so good that he can go to our competition in the SEC, and we're still going to whoop his ass.
I don't get it. I don't get it. We need big. We have 2 big men on the team. We have Bradshaw and Ugana, and that's it. Like we have 2 people over 4.
That's exactly when I'm telling you that Cal is stance in his stance, and he's like, nah, I got my guys. I got my hand. I'm good. I know what I got. I'm good. When Cal's saying that, that's exactly where we are. And you look at Grant Nelson as one of the number 1 cases of that happening right now. He's not only saying that we're good, he's also saying, I don't even care if he winds up at Alabama or Arkansas. That's
very true. Yeah, we're just letting him go.
It don't matter. I don't care because we're going to be that good. We're going to be that much better, and it's not going to matter. That's exactly what John Calipari is saying when he's not going after a kid like Grant Nelson.
Well, it used to be that if Kentucky showed any kind of remote interest in anybody, that they would just flock to Kentucky because it was Kentucky. But now we're like begging people to come, and they still don't want to come. And that just tells you how bad the culture has gotten. You know what I mean?
Well, a whole lot of it's NIL. Cal's not opening up the book. This booster thing that Matt Jones was talking about today, some of that is true, which Calipari just didn't open the door to a lot of boosters and stuff. And when they get a little older and things dry up or whatever, and maybe they're not around anymore. I'm not exactly sure what the situation is, but I can tell you this. Some of what Matt Jones was saying today on that is true. And a lot of Kentucky boosters have been starting to support football over the last 5-6 years. It's just truth.
Yeah, more than that. Yep, I know. They have. And rightfully so. And hey, give us a shout, and we want to hear your opinion on all this Kentucky basketball scuttlebutt going on. 502-234-1504. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you, Clyde, Josh, all you people in the comments. Even Caden.
I know I had a little bit of stout feelings and sayings there, but that's exactly what's going on.
No, I completely agree. I know. I don't think that's out of line at all. No, I mean, you're right that the Kentucky basketball lives past John Calipari's bigger than John Calipari's bigger than Mitch Barnhart. And we got to call stuff when we see it. That's just what's going on. That's just what it is right now. So, yeah, give us a shout on the Talking Kentucky phone line. We'd love to hear from you. Brad, have you heard about this EA Sports, the video game the football video game that's coming out next year? Each college football player, represented in it is only supposed to get $500 from the game, which seems like not enough to me. I want to get your opinion on that. But only $500.
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, and they all get the same amount. So like Caleb Williams or whatever will get the same amount as like the third string offensive lineman at North Carolina or whatever, which doesn't seem fair, with all this NIL stuff going on. So what do you think about that?
Well, so it doesn't seem right. $500 seems a little low, if you ask me. I mean, maybe $5,000 to each player that's in the, maybe if you multiplied that by 10, maybe 5,000 or something. I could see that. That's where I would start. It sounds a little low. And then I would think that they would want to have the game sponsored by somebody, like, be on the cover or something, like somebody like Caleb Williams. You would think that he would get, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And that's the other thing about the cover. Who do you think should be on the cover? Do you think it should be somebody recent? Think it should be like, I saw somewhere somebody said Nick Saban should be on the cover. But do you think it should be a coach, or do you think it should be a player like always?
I don't know. Let's give it to Joe Burrow. I liked the 19 team.
Oh, Claude said he called twice here. It never fails that we have some kind of like a technical difficulty. Hang on, Claude. I think I just need to turn on our calls here. Usually when I leave the show, I'll leave it to Caden, and somebody fills in for me. All the technical difficulties go astray, and he's like, "That's happening to me tonight." So I'm getting the taste of my own medicine here. So, okay, Claude, why don't you try calling now, or anybody that wants to call, give us a shout. Should be working now. 502-234-1504. Give us a shout. Yeah, but the $500 thing, that just seemed like
that seems mighty low. I mean, that's just not much cachet, for to include players in your game, if you ask me. I mean, more than likely this game is going to be one of the top selling games ever, because it's been since 2014. And it'll probably be one of the top selling games ever. I would think that they could afford to come up. That's why I said $5,000 for the players that's in the game.
Be a lot of money adding it up, but yeah, that's it. It would be. Yeah, it was such a big deal. Well,
yeah. I mean, you got, say, I don't know how many they'll have in it with name, image, and stuff, but they'll have at least 500 or 1,000 players. If it's 1,000. You start giving 5,000 to, and that's $5 million. But you're going to make, like, it's probably going to be one of the top selling games,
Yeah, no, I'd like to think so too. Let's see if we can get Claude on the phone here. I think he just called. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call Claude back. So Claude, I'm calling you. Last time you asked me what I got for you. This time I'm calling you into the show. So what's up, Claude?
Hey, what's going on? Not much. Just here chilling with my dog.
What's your dog's name? I don't think I knew you had a dog. What's your dog's name?
Blue.
Blue. Oh, well, that's a fitting name. I don't even have a blue shirt tonight though. But what kind of dog is it?
He's a Pomeranian. He's a Pomeranian Husky mix. He's got one blue eye, one regular eye. He's mixed.
There you go. I think you've posted. I'm sure you posted pictures.
Yeah, I think I've seen some pictures. I think
I've seen some pictures. Well, that's a very fitting name. That's for sure. But anyway.
All right, Clyde, give it to me. What'd you think of my poker analogy?
Yeah, what'd you think of Brad's rant there about Kentucky basketball?
When he was saying that, I was thinking of how Thanos was balanced. Like, I was thinking of the Thanos theme, because where he has the 5 Infinity Gauntlets in his, the thing that he was.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking, I was looking at more of a Marvel term than a poker term, but I totally get exactly what he's saying. It's Cal, yes, I agree, Brad. Yes, you are right about this. There is going to be a firestorm if Cal does not do anything with these freshmen. If we don't even make it out of the first week of the NCAA tournament, this town will explode, and I don't think Cal's going to be able to even run away from it. I think we're going to put him in a corner, and it's going to be hell on wheels, buddy. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, but Cal is betting. He's going all in, man. I'm telling you. You talk about he's doing it against NIL. He's doing it against the fans. He's doing it against transfers. He's doing it against bringing players back. He's going all in on this 2023 class and the way he's always kind of handled and done things.
Yep.
Yeah. Because, he really has, at this point, if you really sit and think about it, and honestly think about it, he doesn't really have much of a choice but to go all in on this class, to go all in on the players that he has. Yeah, it wasn't the original plan. He wanted to get these guys, but due to him saying, well, we're not promising you nothing here in Kentucky with NIL, with all that being said, it has turned these players away from coming to us and going to a different school. We are falling behind. Our football team's doing well, yes. They're doing fine, but our basketball team's not. But I think this number one recruiting class might save him. We'll see.
He's betting on it. I can tell you that. He's definitely
I was
betting.
really excited. The one thing that I want to say about all this is that I don't think Cal or any of the coaches counted on losing all these players because, I was even thinking during the season, man, we got this recruiting class coming in and like Livingston's probably going to stay. Reeves is definitely going to stay, and I'm like, man, we're going to be really good next year. I didn't count on like none of our players for next year ever really playing any college basketball before, which is the position that we're in with all these freshmen. And then like Ugo and all these guys haven't really played any minutes yet, any true college basketball minutes yet. And it's like, how do we take this recruiting class roster and somehow screw it up? That's what I want to know.
We got so many players. Look at I saw pics from Instagram today of all the guys that we lost, and it is literally the entire team that played.
I know.
Duke Piero, the reason why Cal was playing him at the end of the year because Frederick was hurt and Severe was hurt, so he really didn't have much of a choice but to play him. But it's literally like 99% of our scoring is gone.
Oh, it is.
Absolutely. We've lost everything.
We're returning like 1.5 points per game for next year between that's like Ugo and Adu, right?
Yeah.
That's the only two returning scorers we're returning. So, but
heck, I'm pretty sure we've lost the managers at this point.
Well, that's the other thing that we could get into is apparently one of the managers is taking Ugo to school and practice right now. Have you heard that, Brad?
And that's not good.
No, I have not heard that one.
Yeah, one of the managers, I think his name's Ray, apparently is just like showing up Ugo in practice, and he might be playing now. Like he might walk on to the team next year because we just need another big guy. I don't know if that's talks to how good the manager is or how bad Ugo is, but either way, that's not really an ideal situation.
No, it's not.
Hey, Josh Hart says Brendan Canada's coming back. We got that to look forward to.
Yeah.
But I think scholarship players. So that's like how many is that? 8 scholarships because people said 7, but really 8.
Well, so it's 7 that we actually recruited. Yes, Brennan is an 8th, but he wasn't a recruit. He just walked on, and we have given him a scholarship. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. He's in state, because he played from Montgomery County. Yeah, so he's from their area, but. I don't know what Cal's going to do. I'm just going to wait and see what happens. I really hope there's not a firestorm, but there might be. It's very, very possible.
Clyde, you know good and well there's going to be if this don't turn out good.
There better be if there's going to be.
I'm trying to stay optimistic, and I'm trying to stay positive. At least I'm trying to.
Hey, that's all we can do. That's all we can do as a fan base to stay positive. But Clyde, thanks for calling in as always. We gotta kind of bring the show to an end here soon, so Brad can go to his do his show here at the top of the hour. But man, thanks for calling in as always. We really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Go Cats. And he's got Brad, do I let you go and take a couple more calls as you head out the door here? You're welcome to. If you need,
You can call Josh real quick. Call Josh real quick, and I'll
Hey,
stick
well,
on
Josh,
for just a minute.
luckily Josh is calling in, so it doesn't look like
All
I
right,
have to
I
call
will.
him. So, Josh, how's it going? Yes, I did pay the phone bill. I swear, Josh.
I was starting to wonder if you really did.
Yeah.
I was like, well, no phone line tonight. He's too busy buying LSU gear.
Yeah, I'm loading up on the LSU gear for the tournament now. No, that's I didn't even realize I had on an LSU shirt before I joined the show, and yeah, that was probably not the best move, but that's what we got tonight. So, how's it going, man?
Man, Matt Jones, that's going well. I'm doing pretty good, I guess. Still out of work, but I'm doing a little side DoorDash and trying to make some money that way. So it's been a pretty good couple days.
Well, good.
Down here in Eastern Kentucky doing that. So,
well, there you go.
God's blessed me with that. So, but yeah, man, Matt Jones is just pretty much obliterated Calipari today.
Like I
don't have
said,
the best relationship.
I didn't get to listen to all of it,
man,
but I listened to a good chunk of it, but not all of it yet. But it sure sounded like you did, yeah.
I didn't listen to it, Joshua.
And man, he absolutely just melted him down.
Well,
I mean, he's saying that UK's only got 3 or 4 boosters that Cal can go to, and then the football side, you got 20 to 25 guys that Stoops can go to. And them guys used to be basketball boosters, but now they're football boosters because they're tired of Calipari's crap.
Yep. Yeah, and that's what Brad was just talking about. All these boosters are going over to the football side.
Yeah, I mean I kind of touched on it a little bit. Boosters, yeah.
But
yeah, it wasn't good. I didn't get a chance to hear all of it, but
yeah, go ahead, Josh.
You know, this is episode 55. So
that's right.
Jerseys. I think it's the last numbers for a while. There are 7 Kentucky players that wore the number 55.
Yeah, who all wore 55? I mean, did Josh Harrelson wear that?
Yes, Josh Harrelson did. Lance Ware did.
Okay.
Of course.
Josh
I didn't realize that.
Cedric Jenkins.
Okay.
87, 88. Mike Phillips, 77, 78. Jim Andrews, 72, 73. Thad Zakar, 67, 68. Ray Mills, 56, 57. And only 2 were for Kentucky, 2 from Ohio.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Do you get all that from? Do you get that from John Scott's site? Is that where you get all that information? The Big Blue Scoop? Or whatever it's called.
That's where I get it from.
Well, there you go. That's a heck of a site. You ever been on that site, Brad? I think I lost Brad there for a second. Brad, do you need to head to your show? I think I lost audio on Brad here for a second. Yeah, I think I lost Brad. I don't think I can hear you. I think I lost audio on you. But I'm sure Brad has to go to his show here in momentarily. And Josh,
Blue History.
Oh, Big Blue hit. Okay, there we go. I've got Brad back now. Well, actually, I think he just dropped there. Well, anyway, Brad has to go to his show. Josh, I still got you. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, fine. Good.
But I agree with you both. And Brad's analogy, even though he can't hear now, it's all in with freshmen and 2 sophomore. And regardless of what, if we get anybody else, that Calipari has put all his chips in this fire, and he's either going to come out looking really good, like Brad said, swaggy Cal, or it's curtains for him. And the booster, I agree with Brad. The booster, nobody's bigger than Kentucky. And I think sure Brad was right. I think they'll raise the money to take Calipari out of here.
I've heard a lot of people say that.
Away from Kentucky.
I mean, it wouldn't shock me. I mean, it wouldn't shock me, and especially as we get closer to the end of his contract and everything. But man,
I found something interesting the other day.
Yeah,
these schools. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 schools. There's 7 schools in the 22-23 school year. There's only 7 schools that made the NCAA basketball tournament, baseball and softball tournament, as well as the football bowl game in 22-23.
Oh, okay.
You got UK, Alabama, Tennessee.
Oh, I think I did see this. Arkansas, yeah.
Texas. Puke. The University of Puke.
I know who that is.
And the Raging Cajuns.
Wow, Louisiana Lafayette. That surprises me. I didn't know that they were in that category. But hey, that was a shocker for me. That says something that we're in that group, though. I mean, that's an accomplishment.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a small group. So, yeah,
I did also shatter the attendance record for the game at Kentucky Proud Park. They set all-time record, and if I don't believe that for one instance that Kentucky refused to come to Bloomington and play Indiana.
Oh, I don't.
Indiana's just being a bunch of sore losers.
They just don't want to play
like
Kentucky. I know they just don't want to play us anymore. They're scared they're going to lose. No, they're just sore. I mean, it was obvious they were sore losers when they didn't want to shake our hands. I mean, that was obvious.
Yeah, I mean, that was really ridiculous. I mean, that's poor sportsmanship on Indiana's part. But I mean, like I said, they're a bunch of punks anyway. So I mean, it is what it is. I don't hate no school. I just like a bunch, like Duke and Louisville and Tennessee and Indiana. But that's cool. If they don't want to play us, I mean, that's all right. We'll go whoop up on somebody else.
Yeah, we'll go do something.
It just shows you that they're a classless college, and the coaches ought to be ashamed of themselves, because what are you truly teaching your kids, these young men?
I know
it's okay to be like that. No, that's a bad example.
Yeah, no, especially with especially with not shaking hands and everything. I mean, I think that's ridiculous and everything. But well, Josh, thanks for calling in as always, and thanks for your updates on who wore number 55. Is it bad that I didn't know that Lance Ware wore number 55?
Yeah, kind of. We just had it. But real quick, I don't think Reeves is coming back. Unfortunately,
I don't think he is either.
He's gone in the wind. I just don't see. I mean, I think they focused all their energy on Oscar, and I think Oscar was just in his camp was being real quiet, and at the last minute they decided to keep in the draft, and that hurt us. But it is what it is. I wish Oscar nothing but the best, and we have no reason to be mad at Oscar at all whatsoever.
No, we absolutely don't. He gave his all for this program. That's absolutely the case.
If you ever watch Oscar, he is a God-fearing man. He believes in God so much, and that's one good quality about Oscar. And I hope Oscar does really well in the NBA. I still believe that he gets drafted. I hope they all get drafted. I don't want to hate on nobody. I don't want to hate on Chris. Yep. I don't want to hate on nobody. I hope all the kids get drafted.
Oh, I hope they do too. It's
I don't want no Duke players to get drafted, but but I would like to see all our guys prosper in the NBA.
Oh, that's only good for us, and no, I completely agree with that. I hope they do. Well, thanks, man.
I'll let you go, man. Thank you so much for your show. God bless you guys, and Hellcats. And hopefully we beat LSU this weekend and go to Omaha.
Oh, regardless of me wearing my LSU shirt, trust me, I'm all in on the Cats this weekend. People have asked me if I'm cheering for LSU or Kentucky. I'm cheering for Kentucky all in. I don't want there to ever be a question. So that's for sure. So.
Oh, I know you are, brother. I know you're pulling for the Big Blue, so that's never in doubt. I was just giving you some flack over your shirt, but that was pretty bad timing. But that's all good. I know where your heart is. It's Kentucky.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thanks, man, for calling in. We really appreciate it.
All right. Have a good night.
You too. Well, Brad's off doing his own show. And if anybody else wants to call in, feel free. I'll let you call in. It's just me here. But 502-234-1504. If anybody else wants to call, we'd love to hear from you. Or I'd love to hear from you at least before we wrap the show up here. Big weekend for the Cats. Playing LSU in baseball. Hopefully Kentucky basketball woes will look up here soon. Don't know if that'll be the case, but it can't get much worse, knock on wood. So hopefully it gets better from here. We're still killing it in the football recruiting portal. So maybe things will look up for there. But yeah, a little last call for calls here, 502-234-1504. Anybody wants to call? We'd love to hear from you. It's kind of like throwback to the Ole Miss post game when I did that show by myself. That was an interesting. That was a tough first show to do by myself because we lose our first football game of the season. And, that's not always easy. But, well, guys, Caden will be back next week from vacation. So that will be good. We'll be able to jump on with him and get back to our sort of regular show routine. So I'm looking forward to have Caden back next week on the screen and not just in the comments. So looking forward to that. I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching tonight. We really appreciate the support, the ongoing support of you guys tuning in. We're kind of coming back to our Thursday night episodes now. It's every Thursday night at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central is when we're doing our weekly shows. We still got some big guests coming on later this summer. We're going to have Freddie Maggard on at some point. Maggie Davis is going to come on. We're having Luke Combs's pianist come on our show. I mean, we've got some big guys and gals coming on our show. Corey Hunt is Luke Combs's pianist, so he's going to come on our show, and working on a couple more too. So yeah, I think we're gonna. Josh Hart says no more Fridays. Yeah, I think we're gonna stick to our Thursday nights for now. But we'll see. We might change it up a little bit. But I got some big guests lined up, so we'll be letting you guys know about that. And yeah, guys, just thanks for continuing to support us and check us out. If you want to like us on Facebook, that would be very helpful. That's where we do most of our stuff, right here on our Facebook page. So give us a like and a follow on Facebook. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Talkin_Kentucky. We're pretty easy to find on there. We post all our episodes and some other funny stuff on there. And we also have a Twitter. So give us a follow on Twitter. We're trying to grow our Twitter following. So at Talkin_Kentucky there. So Claude says best show around. Thanks, Claude. We really appreciate that. That means a lot. We have a blast doing this, and we're glad that people like it. That's for sure. Marsha Davis Wilson says go Cats. Josh says go Cats. And that's all there is to be said. So, well, guys, despite all the negativity that's going around, let's try to stay positive as a fan base, because that's all we can do as a fan base is just support our guys and try to, we can be critical, but let's just try to be positive and try to cheer our Cats no matter what. That's our job, and just hope and pray things get better. So that's all we can do. Got some big episodes coming up this summer that we're gonna keep you guys up to date about, so be sure to stay tuned for that, and like our Facebook page for all the updates coming up. So well, thanks again. This is episode number 55. I guess I still need to name this episode though. I haven't really named this episode yet. if anybody has any suggestions, I don't have any strong feelings on what this episode should be called. So Josh, Claude, Marcia, anybody in the comments, do you have any thoughts about what this show should be named? Give us a shout. I'll definitely throw that, take that into consideration. So let me know what you think there. Like I said, Caden will be back next week, so that'll be good. Could do talking continued basketball woes. Could do talking baseball. Josh is talking all in. I could name it talking Bat Cats in honor of the baseball team making the super regionals. I don't think that's crazy. But yeah, talking all in, that could be a possibility. You can throw some more out there. Talking. Claude says talking Firestorm. Now, I actually think that's a good one. Caden suggested talking aliens earlier in the episode. We didn't really get into the aliens tonight. Maybe we'll get into that next week when he gets back. Who knows? Talking Firestorm. Clyde, I actually really like that. I think that would be a good good name. And even Josh says I like that. So I think that'd be a good one. So, well, for Coleman Scott and for Brad Harvey, who is off doing his own show now, tune off of this and tune into Brad's show. And for Caden Holmes, who will be back next week, and for Freddie Maggard, Maggie Davis, and Corey Hunt, who will be on, and probably John Wong too, who will be on the show later in the summer. This has been episode number 55 of Talking Kentucky, Talking Firestorm, and we'll see you next Thursday night at 8:00 Eastern, 7:00 Central, right here on our Facebook page for episode number 56 of Talking Kentucky. So until then, thank you guys very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. And as always, even though it's harder to say it sometimes than others, go Cats.